Before I begin, I want to ask you, if you enjoy real-life stories about love, betrayal, and tough choices, hit that subscribe button and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support means the world and keeps these stories coming. I still remember the exact moment everything shifted. We were at a friend's barbecue, and I caught her laughing, mocking someone I barely knew, right in front of me. "Oh, please! You actually think that matters?" She sneered at him, a man in his mid-30s who was just trying to make conversation. At first, I laughed it off, brushing it off as her usual sarcasm. But something in the way she said it, sharp, cold, almost rehearsed, made my stomach knot. It started small. Little things I had dismissed as quirks or my imagination. The way her phone would light up, and she'd quickly slip it into her bag, hiding the screen. Or how she'd suddenly get tense when I asked who was calling. Missed calls, random messages that she'd delete when I walked in the room. I told myself I was being paranoid. Maybe it's work. I muttered under my breath more times than I care to admit. But the signs kept piling up. I'd notice her lingering on a text just a little too long. That nervous laugh she tried to hide when scrolling. She'd excuse herself with mundane explanations. Just a friend, nothing important. You wouldn't understand. And somehow, I believed her, or at least wanted to. I wanted to believe in us. The turning point came quietly, with no dramatic revelation at first. I was tidying the living room when her phone buzzed on the coffee table. She had left it unlocked. I didn't, but the notification was a text preview. I froze when I saw it. "I can't stop thinking about last night. Can't wait to see you again." My heart stopped. My hands shook. My mind raced to rationalize it, to explain it away, but the words were there, impossible to ignore. I confronted her later that evening, my voice calm, though my insides were in turmoil. "Who's messaging you like that?" I asked, keeping it simple, trying not to explode. She laughed, just a soft, amused laugh that cut deeper than anything else. "You're overreacting," she said, brushing my question aside, her tone dripping with that same dismissive mockery I'd seen at the barbecue. "It's just a stupid joke. Seriously, why do you take everything so seriously?" That laugh, the one that mocked both me and my intuition, made something inside me snap. I answered once, calmly, quietly, but with all the weight of what I realized. "You're not overreacting. I just finally see what you think of me." The look on her face was instantaneous. Shock, followed by anger, followed by that flash of guilt I'd been waiting for. And then came a confession, not the cinematic, dramatic sort, but a quiet, trembling admission. She had been seeing him for months. Not physical at first, she said, just texting, just sharing moments. But somewhere along the way, it had become real for her. For me, it had already shattered everything. The next days were a blur. Memories I had cherished suddenly felt tainted. Our first date, the little note she left in my pocket, the laughter we shared on lazy Sunday mornings. I found myself questioning every smile, every whispered, "I love you." I didn't just mourn her betrayal. I mourned the version of us I thought we had. I tried to understand her perspective, even as anger simmered beneath every word. She spoke about loneliness, unmet expectations, about feeling unseen in a marriage she thought was secure. I listened, mostly in silence, because I needed to know the truth, even if it hurt more than I could bear. We didn't yell. We didn't slam doors or throw dishes. Instead, we talked in the quiet, brutal honesty of two people who had lost the same dream in different ways. I realized that love could exist alongside betrayal, not as justification, but as context. And somewhere in that realization, I found a measure of clarity. The day I left, I didn't make a scene. I packed my things, kissed our home goodbye, and walked out with my head held high. There was sadness, yes, but also relief. Relief that I no longer had to tiptoe around someone who didn't respect me. Relief that I could reclaim my life piece by piece. I still think of her sometimes, especially when the silence feels heavier than it should. But I also think of myself and how I survived loving someone who didn't deserve all of me. Betrayal taught me a painful, unflinching truth. Self-respect is the hardest thing to regain, but the most necessary. If you've ever felt the sting of betrayal, the confusion of loving someone who hurt you, I want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read everyone, and we all need to remember that we're not alone in this. And if you want more stories like this, hit subscribe. There are lessons, heartbreaks, and victories waiting in every story, and I promise you won't want to miss a single one.